Coming up, Hispanic Heritage Month kicks off, and later the Iowa celebrates 100 years of women's voting.
Saturday's game was how long? I'll tell you more in sports.
We're all wondering when this fall weather can begin. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Monday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Justina Borgman. In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, the Latino Native American Cultural Center is kickstarting at a series of events and started off on Thursday with a cultural kickback party. This is one of the events the LNAC has planned to celebrate such an important moment.
Special today is that we are showcasing specifically 5 Latin countries that gained their independence today.
From September 15th to October 15th, Hispanics around the world celebrate their heritage and independence days.
I'd say it's super important just because the past couple of years we've had COVID and stuff, and that's really been a bummer for a lot of people, and so it's important to showcase just our own culture and our own histories, and in that way we're building community.
Go to www.multicultural.uiowa.edu for more information on the upcoming events. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of women gaining the right to vote via the 19th Amendment, the Art Building West put on a special project highlighting this anniversary. DITV News Director Ashley Wheel is live in the newsroom with more. Ashley, what is this project?
Yes, Justina, thanks. The Yellow Rose Project is a photography exhibit celebrating the anniversary of the 19th Amendment. In the 1920s, during the creation of the amendment, women would wear yellow roses to signify their support for the ratification. In 2019, for the centennial anniversary, the Yellow Rose Project was created at Boston University and is now spread across the country and is now here at the University of Iowa.
And what kind of art is on display?
The Silent Gallery showcases 37 works of photography from over 100 women and female identifying photographers, representing what the 19th Amendment means to them. The founders hope to show a variety of women's experiences in the United States through a variety of contributors and photographers. Anyone can view the art at the Levitt Gallery of Art Building West at the University of Iowa through September 30th. Back to you in the studio, Justina.
Thanks, Ashley. The city of Izium, Ukraine, is now nearly destroyed after Russian invasion. The city was taken early March and became one of the Russians' main location of operations. Grave sites with handmade crosses for markers are now being investigated to find the causes of death. Ukrainian forces took back the town as part of their counteroffensive launched last week. More than 3,100 square miles were reclaimed. Inspectors are looking for indications of war crimes such as death by torture. Many of the graves are also unmarked and unidentified, so this process they hope to also identify those buried without names. The University of Iowa has discontinued their COVID-19 prevention measures. Students can no longer self-report or quarantine and isolate under the university. Many students worry it takes away the leeway that students had to get school and work accommodations. The biggest upset is the lack of isolation rooms, meaning even if students want to isolate, they may not be able to. A third-year student, Amin Elkerti, said, quote, "It was weird. I mean, why don't they have any isolation rooms? But at the same time, it did make sense because they had a lot of people this year," end quote. However, a majority of students feel that if COVID-19 worsens again, the university could still handle it properly. And after suffering through all of the rain these past couple of days, the summer heat just won't quit. What can we expect for the weather this week, Samantha?
Well, Justina, today we have a bright and sunny day. However, we are in for some hot temps with a high of 82 and a low of 67. Live at the Pentacrest, we can also see tomorrow we're in for a scorcher with a high of 95, a low of 51, and more sunny skies. Wednesday brings us back to cooler weather with partially cloudy skies and a high of 72 with a low of 51. As we head into the rest of the week, the temperatures continue to drop, finally getting a look at that fall weather many have been hoping for. Moving into Thursday, we have a high of 66 with a low of 45, and to end our week off, Friday is a high of 64 and a low of 52 with mostly cloudy skies. Now, how did that extreme weather affect the game on Saturday, Max?
Well, Samantha, it brought 7 hours of football. Coming off of a disappointing loss in the Cyhawk series last Saturday, Iowa football really needed to see some improvements on the offensive side of the ball, which going into the game against Nevada ranked last in all of Division I football. However, the offensive storm that fans had hoped to see Saturday was replaced by a lightning storm that resulted in 3 lightning delays. Kickoff was at 6:40 p.m. and the game didn't conclude until Sunday morning at 1:40 a.m., which resulted in not only a lot of restless fans waiting for play to resume, but also the players as well.
So it was interesting. Somebody brought cards. I'm sure they had them in the hotel from last night. So a couple of card games were going on. Guys were doing all kinds of things. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, I did have that thought. I'd say, boy, if I ever shift over to baseball, I can get used to it.
For the fans that did stay for the whole 7-hour experience, they might be happy that the Hawks came out on top, but this offense still needs to drastically improve. Spencer Petras, who had only thrown 1 touchdown over his last 10 games spanning back to last season, started off hot after finding Arlen Bruce in the first quarter for a touchdown. But Petras would consistently miss deep passes and finish with a final stat line of 14 for 26 for under 200 yards and the lone touchdown. Despite this, Coach Ferentz has no doubts on who his QB1 will be.
Spencer, I thought, made some beautiful throws tonight and some real near misses. Hopefully, in time, those will be completions. You know, and whether it was throw a little off or maybe the receiver a little bit off, that type of deal. But it's just encouraging.
On a positive note for this still improving Hawkeye offense, true freshman running back Caleb Johnson emerged as one of the true bright spots on Saturday, flashing his impressive skill set and rushing for 103 yards on just 7 carries alongside his first 2 career touchdowns.
But he's been fun to work with, and he's done things, you know, he's been in the other games, but hasn't really looked great. It was good to see him run with confidence tonight, and he got a little bit of daylight and knew what to do with that, that's for sure.
Consistency at the quarterback position will continue to be the key to Iowa's offensive performance going forward. And while Petras and the Hawkeye offense showed some improvements, failing to total over 30 points against a weak Nevada defense has Hawkeye fans wanting more.
Iowa will open their Big Ten season this Saturday when they travel to Rutgers. And the 5th-ranked Iowa field hockey team opened their Big Ten season last Friday at Grant Field, taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Iowa scored 2 minutes into the game off a penalty corner as senior Locust Strybos got her first goal of the season.
I mean, first of all, to go 1-0 in the Big Ten, this is the best Indiana team we've actually seen in the last 10 years, so we knew we were going to have a bit of a battle today. We wanted to get out to a fast start in every quarter, and that's what we did. So I think that was a big key to just take the wind out of their sails, and anytime you can get a Big Ten win, we're excited about that.
5 different Hawkeyes would score in Iowa's win. Iowa will travel to Evanston, Illinois on Friday to face the top-ranked Northwestern Wildcats. And the Hawkeye soccer team opened up their Big Ten season with a 3-1 loss to Wisconsin last Friday. Ellie Otto scored early in the game with her second goal of the season to give the Hawks the 1-0 lead at halftime. But the Badgers battled back, scoring all 3 of their goals in the first 5 minutes of the second half to hand Iowa their 4th loss of the season.
That's why the game was 3-1. Going to expose us in the end of the first half, and we talked about it, and we didn't make those adjustments. I feel for them, but the Big Ten requires more than 45 minutes of good soccer, and that's why the game was 3-1.
Iowa now prepares for a 3-game road trip this Thursday when they head to East Lansing to take on the Michigan State Spartans. Come back on Wednesday for more info on your Hawkeyes. Back to you, Justina.
Thanks, Max. The owner of the popular outdoor brand Patagonia is no longer a billionaire. Founder Yvon Chouinard transferred his company to the nonprofit organization Holdfast Collective for about $3 billion. The goal is to ensure that profits will be used to combat climate change, specifically protecting nature and funding advocacy. Yvon Chouinard has not been shy about his climate activism in the past. Patagonia will continue to sell its iconic outdoor wear, but will be operated under new management. Thank you for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all of your latest news between Monday and Friday. And check out more of our content on the Daily Iowan YouTube page or dailyiowan.com/DITV. For DITV News, I'm Justina Borgman. Have a great day.